Settings, let me just see if I can do some cutting off.
We are live.
Hi, ladies. Happy Thursday.
No.
Hi.
How's everybody doing? Good.
Great. I can't hardly hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
you went out.
Oh, okay, good. Well, happy Thursday, ladies. First, before we start, I just want to wish my daddy a happy 84th birthday. I'm so thankful.
Nice.
Oh, what a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my great niece, his great granddaughter, is celebrating her golden birthday, 17 on the 17th. So happy birthday to my great niece as well. So, and anybody else celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you too. And this is Love Week. So definitely the first love should be self-love. So part of self-love is taking care of yourself. So we've been really trying to focus on, you know, the whole being. And tonight we're going to focus on a practice that may help some as they are pursuing self-care, and that's yoga. So we're really excited that we have one of my good girlfriends. She may be new to this group, but we've been friends for a long time now. I can't even believe how long it's been. And you know, we met in a women's small group. So I am happy to welcome my good girlfriend, and actually I met her through Regina, Sarita Payne. She's going to share with us tonight about yoga. Welcome, Sarita.
Hello, ladies. Thank you for having me. This is wonderful. And I've listened to some of your podcasts, and I've said for Thursday after Thursday, I'm gonna get on there. Finally, Cara called me up and said, come do some yoga. And just so happened that this Thursday was a really pretty good Thursday. So I was like, yay, let's go.
This week. So before we get started, we're going to introduce our other good girlfriends that are here. So Cece, how are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm Cecilia Horton Adams. I don't have to remember my new last name, but I'm fine, and I'm welcome, Sarita, and I can't wait to see some of the yoga stuff that you all will be doing today.
Same thing, I'll just say.
Happy Friday Eve. I am Juanita. I'm very new to yoga. I just started Hatha yoga, not yogurt. I do eat yogurt. And I've only been to 3 sessions so far, but I'm loving it and I'm embracing this. So glad to see another type. Thank you.
Awesome. So Sarita, how about we get started with you telling us how you started doing yoga, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. So I don't know. I really was trying to think like what year it was. I'm a teacher by profession, and I've been a teacher for many years. And I've also always been on the athletic, you know, like trying to physical fitness side, you know, trying to stay somewhat in shape. And one evening I was at the gym and I saw this class and I was like, that looks really interesting. And they were in meditation, and the lights were dim, and, you know, so it just really enticed me, because I'm like, okay, if that's considered exercise, then I need to check that out. So over the years, I started at a gym, and I participated in several classes and really got going with one instructor at the Columbia Association Athletic Club. And his name escapes me at the moment, but I can see his face so clearly. But his style was Iyengar. And Iyengar is one of the basic styles of yoga. And its main purpose or focus is alignment, making sure that your body is in a neutral alignment, not ever in a distressed alignment. So that's really important to Iyengar yoga people. They really will do things almost more gently, just to make sure they preserve the alignment. But I mean, not that it can't get more strenuous or challenging, but Iyengar is definitely for alignment. Hatha yoga is another form or type of yoga that I have done. And that is more of a gentle, neutral, and almost sometimes more spiritual yoga. So it's pretty much the middle of the road because it has a little more spirituality to it. It has some of the alignment as a focus, but just the whole getting inside and feeling the inner. And so those were the first two types of yoga that I was introduced to and that I've worked with. So I had many years of Iyengar. I don't know. I can't even think how many. I guess I've been doing yoga for maybe 20 years now.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, you know, like there are different levels of yoga and people think, you know, you're going to start at level 1 and you move to level 2 or what have you. But there are so many different types of yoga and people start to mix them. Even though, you know, your teacher is Iyengar based, they throw in the Hatha yoga or they throw in some Vinyasa yoga. Vinyasa yoga is more strenuous, more physical. So if you go to a gym and someone is really like pushing you, okay, and they're going at a faster pace, then they're probably doing Vinyasa. The other type of yoga too is more of a yin yoga, which is also more peaceful, slow, you know. Some people will call it yin yang yoga to kind of play on the name, the whole idea of balance and keeping you even keeled. There's restorative yoga. That's lovely. There's a thing called yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is really yoga sleep. You can go to a yoga class and you get into a very comfortable position, yogic position, and you rest. And if you fall asleep, great. That's what it's for. And they have it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I love it.
See that one.
Wow.
Yeah. You do a little meditation and you relax in this position. And if you fall asleep, fabulous. But it's a meditative type start, but then many people fall asleep. So it's cool. The meditation is typically a part of all kinds of yoga, usually at the start of a class. And one type of yoga that is meditative, but also focuses on breathing is Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga focuses on all different types of breathing, but then it wants you to get to a high. When I say high, I'm spiritually high, euphoric feeling. Because you're working with your breath, you start to get a little lightheaded sometimes. And that tends to take you just like out of your head kind of thing. I mean, that's the way they kind of describe it, the Kundalini yoga, because it is strenuous on the breathing. Like you'll your diaphragm, and you're really working your body. So it's a lot of good energy, but you work up the heat and the energy and you get lightheaded and so it's very interesting to watch. You all have heard of Bikram yoga.
Yes.
Bikram is the hot yoga. So if you go into a studio and it's, you know, like 90 degrees and they don't want you to leave, they want you just to sit down on your mat if you're having a problem. But they go through the postures, you know, the same way you would in a regular yoga class, but it's just super, super hot. Okay. And you're supposed to sweat. So that's the point of that. I was trying to think, there is another one. So we did, so Iyengar, Hatha, Kundalini, Vinyasa, Yin, restorative. Restorative is like the yoga nidra. So that's 6, and there, you know, some people say there are 7 or 8 or 11 or you know, but those are a lot of the basic ones that you will hear about.
I had no idea there were that many types of yoga. I mean, I'd heard of Bikram yoga and I knew regular, what I call regular yoga, but had no idea that there were so many different types. You like,
Yep.
before we go further, I just want to tell anyone that's watching that Sarita is going to give us a yoga demo. So if you want to get your yoga mat or a towel or something, try it with us, or even if you want to try it in the chair, I hear you can do that. And a pillow possibly if you want to sit up, or anything you think you'll need for yoga. We are going to do a demo in a little while, so just want to let everybody know. But CC and Q, what are your experiences with yoga?
Well, like I said a little earlier, I am brand new with yoga. I am a very spiritual kind of person, so I was drawn to the hatha because of the affirmations that the lady has presented. Like she talks about, how we do certain poses, and it's like, okay, now let this stress, let that soak into the mat, like let this fall off of you, and especially while we're still going through this year too and everything, that it's been calming to me. I kept saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. But even at the 3, I'm almost balanced on one of those poses that I couldn't do the first time. But I really, really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to my next class on Monday. And I want to try to get better at it. I want to try to practice some of it. I have already practiced meditation, but now getting some of these poses, adding to it, it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's not strenuous, for those of us over a certain age, which is all of us on this group.
Yeah, that leads me to a quick question. So is yoga something that you would do like once a week, or is it typically a couple times a week, or every day? How's that work? Like, what do most people do that practice yoga?
You can do it as often as you want. People who really live with yoga and like live off of yoga, they do it every day. I mean, it's like they can't go without doing a yoga session of some sort. Some people do parts of yoga. So yoga is just this general term. But then, and I think what most of us think about when they think of yoga is this physical workout. And that is truly asana. Asana. So the language of yoga is Sanskrit. Okay, so you're hearing all these different names, which is a very ancient language. But asana is the actual physical practice of yoga. When we say yoga, we're really going for asana, okay? Because yoga includes the asana, the breathing, the meditation, okay, and the rest. Because even at the end of your yoga class, you'd go into, just kind of like a dead man's pose. Okay, you just lay there on the mat to absorb all that your body has done and just take a break. So that's all of that is yoga. Okay.
So
Go ahead, please ask.
I thought you was finished. Go ahead.
No, I'm finished. Go.
Okay.
Go.
I was just gonna say I do water yoga. So I go to a therapeutic pool at Columbia Association, and we do yoga on Wednesdays. And now it's so popular that they added a Thursdays class too. And most of the participants are older, elderly women, I should say my age and up. But it's fun and I enjoy it. That class is always jam-packed, and it's just peaceful, and it's easier to get into the positions in the water than it is on land. So where I can stand on one foot, or I could easily balance myself on one leg in the water, where I probably couldn't do it on land. The meditation, like she plays this really soft music and tell us to calm our breathing, and I just love it. I started back in, I want to say in the summer, maybe June or July.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I didn't know you could
Well,
do it in the water. And I love the water, so I might look for a class now. I'm not in Columbia.
But you work, you work,
You work here, and I can take a guess.
nearby. You
Yeah.
probably more convenient for you in Columbia than trying to get home to do
Right.
it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
The water yoga, of course, the exercises in the water to take the pressure off of our joints.
Mhm.
So anybody who is, rehabbing from a knee replacement or any joint issue, being in the water is going to really lessen any pressure that you're putting on, your body. You do lose a little bit of the Iyengar or that alignment, and there's less emphasis on that, and that's okay because you're in the water. Water is is forgiving, and so you don't have to worry about being so straight or perfect. The way they so let me just say this to you. So I took yoga for many years. I've taken Tai Chi, which I love. That is another martial art that is along the same line. And it has a spiritual side to it. But later on, I guess maybe it was about 2015, 14, I went ahead and I was taking some classes at the Yoga Center of Columbia. And that's supposed to be like the place in Columbia. It's been around for over 10 years. And they saw me doing yoga, and I was participating in their free classes because at the beginning of every session, they offer all of their classes are for free. And you can go in there as many times as you want. So I was doing all the free classes, and they kept seeing me and noticing, that I was really enjoying it and everything. And the lady started talking to me about becoming a teacher. And I was like, well, I can kind of do that. I mean, I teach already, but I really didn't go into it to become a yoga teacher, but I did complete their 200-hour training as a yoga teacher. So I am a licensed yoga teacher at the 200 level. There's a 200 level, and then there's the 500 level. And it was a fabulous class. I mean, I cannot, there are so many things that you learn from the class about yoga and about spirituality and yourself. And it's not religious though. That's the interesting thing about it. It's not a religious practice at all. It comes from, like the Buddhist culture, but it is not considered a religious practice. So it really helps you in all of those ways, the physical, the mental, the spiritual. And it's just great. It's so good for us as we get older and we have more stress and we put more exertion on our bodies. So I always highly recommend any form of yoga, anything that you like and that you feel comfortable doing, go and do it because you will find benefits from it. The purpose of yoga is not for you to hold the pose to look just like the teacher. And that's how I used to do it. That's how I really wanted to look just like the teacher. But I realized in doing it over time, my body isn't shaped like theirs, and I can't get in that position like them. And as I was going to say a little earlier, normally you think you're going to start at level 1 and then you're going to go to level 2 and what have you. But there are so many different forms of yoga and people start to mix and match them together and blend it, that sometimes you don't know what level you are. And that's okay, because you're still getting a workout. As long as you're getting a little workout, you're getting some relaxation, you're getting some spirituality, you're breathing, you're great. It's benefiting you.
So it does burn calories and.
Mm-hmm. Some yoga is considered slow flow. Some teachers like it slow and flow. You know, that means you're going to do continuous movements, but you're going to go slow.
Mhm.
Iyengar is a little more static because they're really focusing on alignment. So you're going to get in that position and you're going to hold it there. The slower you go, that's where the work is, because you're holding these postures. And then they want you to relax and breathe. And that's when the muscles get the workout, when you breathe and let go. When you get into a posture and you're tight and tense, you're not going to get the full effect of the workout. You're going to have tight muscles. If you can relax into it and let your body just let go of the tension once you're struggling to hold that position, then your body, you're getting the full benefit from your body. Okay. So
Because
I could talk on and on. Please ask questions to shut me up.
our instructor has even brought in so the lights are dim. She's got a bowl that she does I don't know all the proper terms, but it's all about setting us and clearing our mind and our head, and it's one of the fastest hours of my week. And not like any other exercise class that you force yourself to go to. But so I'm getting a lot of benefit out of it, and I love the manifestations and stuff. It's really good. But I didn't know that you spoke that the lights being down was a thing.
It just depends. Sometimes, you know, because it's funny, because last night, Cara and I were talking, and I had the lights on like they are right now. And then at the beginning of tonight, when I set up, I had on less light.
Oh.
And I was just dimming the light, but it really doesn't work with the visual, you know, and the camera. And so it just depends. You do what you got to do, right? But yeah,
I was like, I can't see you, Sarita. You're gonna need to put that light.
It just helps to kind of set the mood, you know. Some people will create like a little shrine if they're really into it to get the meditation feel going. They might have incense, they might have a candle, or they have something of beauty or something that represents their God, or you know, however you want to do it. But it's all for the mood and the effect. And I totally forgot, but I have my chime is at school, because I do community circles with my teens. And so I ding the chime to set the tone to start the circle. And I totally forgot to bring my chime, but yes, I have a chime too. And that's one of the greatest things. Even at home, you can get your own little setup, you know, get your chime or get your candle or whatever, and you create your mood. So that helps you get into your meditation and your workout.
Nice. Hi, Jeanette. We didn't get to say hi to
Hi,
Jeanette.
everyone. This
Hello,
is
Jeanette.
awesome.
Hello. Oh yeah, she had to go change.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yes, I had to get myself together so I could get into my yoga pose and position. We do vinyasa, I guess that's the right, in the evenings. I don't make it to every class, but it is definitely a workout. I think, I don't know if this is right, but it feels like it just kind of flows too. And it's definitely a workout. The kids enjoy it, the staff enjoys it. So I try to hop in there every chance that I can too.
So you're talking about
It is
the
very calming. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, at the school, we do a virtual yoga class twice a week, and the style is vinyasa.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, can I ask Jeanette, what school and where are you? And is it a class
I am in, I work in Trenton, New Jersey, and the school is Gregory Elementary School. So right on our webpage, we have a link, and you all can join us Tuesday or Thursday evening at 6.
Okay. That's nice.
Yes, it's
So it's
nice.
for it's for the staff, or it's for the whole
It's
school?
for
or-
staff, students, and their families. So,
Wonderful.
the idea is to kind of push this whole idea of mindfulness and meditative practices outside of the schoolhouse. And so having it virtual and having the kids bring their families along, and we usually get more students than entire families, but it's a practice that I would like to develop within myself. But of course, I want my students to have it as well. So
That is awesome. That's a really good idea, to have the school and the community and everyone a part of it. Great. Okay.
Yeah, well, any more
it's a
questions?
good way to support each other in that practice.
Yes. Yeah. So one other really important thing about yoga is it's no one else's yoga but yours. Your practice is what you need and what you do. And no one can tell you that that is completely wrong. Okay? They may make some recommendations or suggestions, or they may try to fix your posture or alignment just a little. But really, truthfully, your posture or your pose is your pose. And the whole thing about yoga is not, I can't do that like you do, or like the teacher does. It's not that. It's that you actually get on the mat and you do your yoga. That's it.
Good. I like that.
So everybody has,
I don't.
that's right. Yep. And everybody has their issues, their ailments, they're tight here or there in different places. So you just work it to your max. So like when you work out, you want to push yourself just a little bit. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you do want to exert yourself. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So you just try to think about it that way. So, and a lot of times teachers will ask you, are there any issues that I need to be aware of before we start class, so that she can or he can adjust their program for whatever they have planned for the night. And they can know what kind of modifications to make, to help you make as you go through the class. So that's cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Should we try it and then come back and discuss after?
Okay, sure.
All right, ladies, I'm going to put Sarita as the center of the screen so everyone can see her that's watching, and we can all get on our mats and try it with it. Then let's come back and discuss how it felt and
Okay.
how it went.
Okay, so I'm just going to shift over a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me, where's my, oh, here we go. Okay. Okay.
I gotta get on the floor.
Yep. So typically you should be, if you're on the floor, you should be on a rubberized type mat with no socks, and that's mainly for grip. I'm sitting on 2 little cushions tonight. Sometimes they will ask you to sit on the floor, but for most people who have tight hip joints and who just don't feel very comfortable in their lower back sitting on the floor, you can sit on a cushion. So, for example, I have a firm but kind of flat pillow. Okay. And I also have this little teardrop pillow, which, can be purchased if you really get into it and you're sitting on the floor a lot. So whichever one is more comfortable is fine. And then the other thing is you could always use a firm cotton blanket. This is actually not even a cotton blanket, but it's firm, and you just want to kind of fold it to about this size. So you can use it in different ways. You can put it on the mat and sit right on here. You can fold it in half lengthwise. You can fold it the other way, like a hamburger. Okay. So whatever is more comfortable for you is fine. I'm gonna use my 2 cushions tonight. All right. Oops. Gotta get up here first. Okay. So one of the reasons why you put something under you is so that when you sit and you cross your legs, your legs drop down. And that helps to relax and open up your hips. Okay?
It hurt. This crossing legs already hurt.
Hurts, then stretch it out. Then don't cross it up too tight. Sometimes people might have their legs a little more spread out, forward.
I like to spread out.
Whatever is comfortable for you.
I'm trying
Okay?
to.
And if this is not comfortable at all, then just stretch your legs out.
Okay.
We're actually going to start with our legs stretched out in front of us. And we're gonna warm up our feet, because if you're doing a full-fledged yoga class, your feet are a very important part of your class, because you're gonna be standing on them and they're gonna hold all of your weight. So we wanna warm them up. And what I have found too is as we get older, we don't always move the feet in a full stretch kind of way. So it's a very good practice to actually massage your feet. Self-care for your feet. So I'd like you to cross your left leg over your right, or your right leg over your left. Just cross one of your legs over one leg that's extended. So one leg's extended and one leg is crossed. Can you all hear and see me okay? All right. Should I turn the other way? Let me see. Let me do it this way. How about this? Is that better? Can you all see?
You were fine either way, but yes, thank you.
All right, well, I'll just stay here like this. So you're gonna cross one leg over and you are massaging your feet. So you're just using your thumbs and your fingers and you're massaging the sole of your feet. And you're just rubbing up and down, starting at the top and massaging all the way down to the heel. And go back up. And when you get up to the top, to your toes, I want you to take each toe individually and pull and twist each toe. Pull it straight up and out. Pull and twist each toe. All right, now you're going to take your fingers, you're going to slide them in between your toes. Now, this is really hard for me because I have really small, tight toes, but it's really good for me because it helps me to relax my toes and open up spread out my toes and give me a wider area to hold on to the floor. So with my fingers in between my toes, I'm just going to make circles with my ankle, just to warm up my ankle. So I'm stretching my toes and I'm circling my ankle. And let's stop and go in the other direction, circling your ankle. Now, if you're in a chair, you can still be sitting in a chair and you can put one leg crossed up on the other. And you can still do this foot massage. You can do this foot massage at any time of the day. Okay, so let's stop and flex your foot, push it all the way up, stretch, try to spread your fingers and pull your fingers out. All right, and then you're gonna put your hand on top of your foot and stretch your foot back to just stretch out this part of your ankle, the top of your foot and ankle. Now you're not going to crook your foot over this way. You're going to keep it straight and just Let it, as if you're pointing your foot and you're holding on to your toes. And then flex your foot back up. With your left hand, you can stretch your toes by bending them forward. So all of this is really stretching out the foot and the joints in the foot. And it helps you to relax your toes and you relax your feet to give you a wider area that your foot is covering on the mat. They tell you when you start yoga, don't be surprised if your feet grow, and don't be surprised if your shoulders and your breasts grow and all these, because you're developing all these muscles. Okay.
So people,
All right. So we've warmed up this foot. We're going to pat it. Gonna give it a little drum roll. Take your knuckles and rub on your foot. Pick up your ankle. Hold up your leg and shake your foot out. As if you were making sure that it's loose and it's relaxed. Okay. Now you can uncross that foot and cross the other one. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite foot. So we're going to start with a massage with the thumb and the fingers on the top and the sole of the foot, all the way down to the heel, and then go back up to the toes. Stretch and twist each toe. Straighten out each single toe. Give it a little twist and a tug. Take your fingers, wiggle them in between your toes. And we're going to work our ankle in circles, going in one direction. And then around in the other direction. I hear mine cracking. All right, and we're going to flex our foot and pull our fingers out. And then we're going to do a pat. Drum rolls. Take your knuckles and rub up and down on your foot. Make sure that you flex your foot again and stretch your toes out. And point your foot and pull back on the top of your foot. Flex and point. And pull on your toe. Yep. Okay. And good. So now our feet are warmed up. Oh, let's shake it out. Make sure it's loose. All right. Wiggle your toes. All right, so that's our feet. Now, since we're sitting like this, I'm actually going to come off this top pillow because I'm feeling a little bit better now. And that's the other thing. Once you get more comfortable in this position and all, you can take the pillows and cushions out or whatever makes you more comfortable. So try to sit up nice and tall so that you grow your spine as much as you can. And your legs can be, they don't have to be touching or closed. You can have them just comfortably open in front of you. Put your hands at the side of your hips. And this will also help you. Your hands and fingers should be facing your feet. But this should help you press into the floor and straighten your spine. To stretch tall. All right, and from here, keep your hands on the floor and just lean forward, ever so slightly. And I hope you're breathing. Now make sure your feet are flexed. That means you are holding them up. They're pointing up or towards you. And just lean forward. You should feel a stretch in the back of your spine. In the back of your legs.
yeah.
And you might feel a stretch along your low back. Okay, and if it's, you can feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can feel it, that's far enough. Don't go any further. If you want more, then you go further. If you don't want more, back off. Okay? Always go to your edge and no further. All right? So I said to Cara, we're going to also do some arm stretches. And we're going to stretch our neck also. So one of the things that I want us to start with is bring your arms out to the side and twist them and turn your palms facing up and turn them down and turn them back up again and bring your palms together overhead and try to sit up nice and tall as if you're growing your spine, and find your breath and breathe and come down and do it again. Go up with your hands, palms together. Breathe and come back down. And one more time, turn your palms up. Bring them together. As you bring your arms up, grow your spine. Drop your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are not hiked up like this. Drop them down. Breathe. And come back down with your hands. All right. Okay. Whew, kind of shake that out. Okay, our neck. So what I want us to do is you're going to take your right ear and bend it towards your right shoulder. And the one thing about yoga, whatever you do on one side of your body, you always do it on the opposite side so that you balance yourself out. Okay, so we'll do it on the left afterwards, but we're going to put our right ear towards our shoulder, our right shoulder, and just stretch out the left side of the neck. Then I want you to lift your right arm and flex your hand as if you're saying stop. And you should feel the stretch going down the inside of your arm. If it's too much, try lowering your arm. But all the while, keep your right ear pointing towards your right shoulder. If you can raise it up a little more, raise it up. Now take your right hand, turn your palm up, and reach over your head and touch your left ear. And just lay your hand and your arm over your head. Okay. And bring your hand up and bring it back down. Okay. So now we're going to do the other side. So that's going to look the same way. We're going to bend our left ear to our left shoulder. Get that stretch on the right side of the neck. Try to relax into it. Then bring your left arm up. Flex your hand as if you're saying stop. And when you feel that pull, you take it to your limit. You can raise your hand if you want more stretch, or you can lower your arm if you want less. Now turn your palm up on the left and take your arm up over your head and just let it lay over your head and touch your right ear. So this should be more of an intense stretch on the neck, but you're not putting a whole lot of weight on your head. You're just stretching out your neck. All right, and take that up and come back. Okay, so now we've got our neck stretched out, got our arms stretched out, our backs a little bit, and our feet. How you feeling? Everybody okay?
Doing okay.
So, let's see now. All right, so here's the next thing. We're going to transition. Let's pretend we've done enough warm up. And typically what we do from here is we're going to get on our mat. And a lot of times people use a blanket, or you can use your flat pillow. But I'm going to put a blanket down, and typically It's just kind of like a small rectangular size blanket. And I'm gonna put it under my knees. And I'm gonna be on my hands and knees. Okay. So from here, we're going to warm up our back a little bit more. And our toes, and we're on the tops of our feet. So our toes are stretched out. And you're going to look straight down at your mat because you want to keep your spine long. You really don't want to crank up like this because that throws off your alignment. And you really don't want to twist. But you want to look straight ahead, like down at your mat. And what you're doing is what we call cat and cow. So you're simply going to start out by arching your back. This is the cow. And then we round up and we curve our backs and we push up into our chest and our stomach like a scaredy cat. Like a cat saying. So you round your back, almost like you're pushing off your hands. And then you're going to gradually go back down to cow. And when you go into cow, you really are arching your back. You're letting your butt stick out. And you're just hanging out there for a moment. Because you want to get that opposite stretch in your spine. So here's our cow, and then let's push up into cat. Push up out of your shoulders and back down to cow. And then again, cat and cow. And you should almost feel it all the way through to your hips. I mean, really stretch your butt out. You know, it's like nobody's behind you. So you really want to just stick your butt out. You can even wag your tail when you get into cow. Yes, that's right. You'll feel it on both sides of your hips. Okay. So once we stop with cat and cow, we should be in a neutral position. Meaning our back is pretty straight. Our eyes are focused down on our mat. We're not arched and we're not rounded. We're simply in a neutral position. Okay. From here, we could do a lot of things. What I want us to do is take one leg and you're going to stretch it back. And your toes are going to be curled under on the leg that's straight. And your leg is also, your toes are curled under on the leg that's bent too, because that gives you a little bit more of a stance, you know, holds you in place. So just stretch your leg out and kind of rock back so that you stretch all the way through your heel. And once you rock back, you're actually going to hold it there. It's not like, you remember how they used to show you how to do the butterfly stretch and they used to bounce up and down with your legs? You don't really do that. You just kind of hold it. All right, come back and put your knee down on that side, and then we're going to stretch out the other leg all the way through our heel. So extend the next leg out and rock back so that you stretch all the way through your heel. Okay. Come on down, back to all fours. And we're going to take a moment and come up off of our hands and on our knees in a different way and just shake out your hands. Just to kind of take a break from being on your hands and knees. Okay. All right. So let's go back down again. We're in our tabletop position. And this time we're going to do a balance pose. So we're going to extend the first leg that we were stretching out. So we'll keep we'll turn our toes under, but then we'll take the first leg and we'll stretch it back just like we did before. Now here comes the balance part. You're actually going to raise your leg. And it shouldn't be way up here. It's just right here, level with your back. Okay? And from there, you're going to lift the opposite hand of whatever leg is up. Notice that my foot is flexed. That's extended out here. And then gradually I'm going to rise to I'm going to shift my weight to the opposite hand and then raise it up. So you're actually shifting your weight to the same side where your leg is lifted so that you can raise your opposite hand. So I have my left leg up and my right hand up. All right, come on down. Back to tabletop. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So toes are curled under. You're going to extend your other leg, your second leg back. And you're going to shift your weight. Well, let's raise our leg first. Raise your leg. And now shift your weight to that same side where the leg is lifted and raise your other hand. Look down at your mat. Try to keep your spine straight. Find your breath. And then come on down. Back to tabletop. And now we're going to widen your knees. Widen your knees. Almost to the width of your mat. Be on the tops of your feet. So relax your feet. Uncurl your toes and be on the tops of your feet. And just sit back. And this is what we call child's pose. This is the resting pose. You can put your hands under your forehead. You can keep your arms out. You can rest on your pillow or your mat. And you just hang out here for a little bit. This also begins to stretch the inner legs and the hips. Okay, and just breathe. This is the safe pose if you are ever in a yoga class and you start to get dizzy or lightheaded. They tell you to go into child's pose and just rest. Okay? All right. What else was I know one other thing I'm going to do, and then we're going to stop. Okay? Come back to your hands and knees. Bring your legs in like you were on your tabletop before. And what I want you to do is you're going to pick up one leg and you're going to bring it close to the opposite hand. And you're going to place it down in front of you. Yep. And you're going to gradually slide down. Okay. Now we could fall off to the side, but I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay up on top of the bent leg. And just extend the one leg back and you're bent and you're putting a little weight on the leg that's bent. And you can, if you're comfortable, you can stay right here. That's fine because you're getting a good stretch all through here and all through your other leg. If you want to, you can come down to your forearms. Okay. And come on back up. And we'll pull our leg back. We're back in our tabletop. And let's do the other leg. So you're going to lift up the opposite leg, bring it towards you into the middle, and kind of rest there on top of that leg. If you want to go down to the mat, you can. And just kind of hang out there. Okay, come on back up. And come to your tabletop. And we can go back to child's pose. Okay. So that would be the beginning of a typical yoga class. And then from there, you're going to go into different kinds of postures. Like if I'm here in this position, I might bring my leg forward and go into a lunge like this. And I would curl my toe under and lift up. And then from there, you're able to come up and come up. Okay, and you work up from the floor. So that's what the goal is, to work up from the floor to standing. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here, this is comfortable for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was
So
good.
questions? Anybody feel warmed up, a little warmed up and a little more in your
Yes.
own body, kind of stretched out a little bit?
I'm
Yes.
exhausted. I was like,
You're-
wow.
You said you're exhausted? Yeah.
And the other thing is, I had dinner before this. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have eaten before I did that.
Well,
'Cause I was like, oh God.
they will tell you, like, especially if you're going to a class, they will tell you, try not to eat
Yeah.
heavy before you do a yoga class. I mean, you know, things happen after we've eaten, and our bodies are digesting our food, and so, you know, yeah.
That was great though.
Well, good. So I mean, you know, just a taste of how a typical yoga class might start.
Yeah. Well needed stretching. Like definitely need to do that regularly.
And ladies, we really could do that on our own. We
Right.
just have to commit to doing it, you know? Yep.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna try to start doing it more since I'm sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, you can, if you're at a desk, you can actually bring one leg up and then push forward. You're going to stretch out your back and your hips just by doing that in a chair.
I feel that right now, just what you said it.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Regina.
Hi, everyone. Look, I feel it right now. Well,
I
that's
know.
also because my personal trainer, she also makes me sit in my chair and pull my arms back and stretch myself out. She says to do that because we're sitting in the chair so much.
Yeah.
So,
And we're also hunched over a computer like this.
Mhm.
So there are some yoga people who believe you never round your shoulders this way in exercise. You always go up and back so that you pull back and down.
Yeah, when in the beginning I was trying to do the Indian style pose where I put both legs over. That did not work for me at all. I was like, wow, I used to be able to do that.
But that's what happens. We get so tight over the years. We can't do all the things we used to do.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you had, I don't know, somebody had asked me at one point, so what level are you? And they think that because I've been doing yoga for so long that I'm, you know, at level 5 or something. But I'm still doing level 1, level 2. That's about it. You know, because with my starts and stops with yoga, and then also my own body doing its thing, you know, it doesn't really matter how high up you go. It's just the condition that you're, and the idea you're exerting yourself and putting yourself in those poses a little bit and stretching gradually every day that helps keep you feel loose and better. So it's not about necessarily being all advanced and sophisticated and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got a good stretch in the chair.
Good.
Especially the
I'm glad
neck
to
and,
hear
you know,
that.
and the arm and
Yeah.
shoulder area. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, I really like that when you put your arm up like this, because you're getting your neck and this arm, you know, you're getting that whole thing.
All of this. Mhm.
And you don't even realize you're tight in your arms and hands.
So I heard you say people might go up a shoe size, and that happens.
But what happens is, like if you're actually massaging the feet and relaxing the feet, the toes get a little bit longer and the foot gets a little wider.
I don't need that.
I know, right? But that's what they tell you, to really open up your feet and hands so that you have a greater, you cover a greater surface on the mat and you have more grip. You have more of a foundation to stand on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to increase flexibility, but I don't want to grow anywhere else.
Right. Exactly.
Many pairs of shoes that I don't want that to happen.
You can't wear any of shoes after that.
Yeah.
The thing I like too is that you've shown us that within basic household items, something in your house, you can do this, and you don't have to spend a lot of money either. Like, you don't have to buy those yoga things if you don't want to. You could use basic things that you have in your house.
You can use pillows and blankets as long as they're firm. You can use canned goods to prop up on. Let me show you. So typically a yoga studio will have blocks, foam blocks or cork blocks. This is the standard size, but silly me, I don't even have 2 blocks the same size. So I got 1 block that's narrower and this one is wider, but it's okay. And if you don't have the foam blocks, you can use cans. You know those large quart-sized cans? It's about as tall as this. So if you had a large, well, maybe it's not a quart. Is it a half a gallon? You know, when you get those jumbo cans of soup or juice or something, way back in the day, you don't see them very much anymore.
And like Hawaiian Punch back in the day.
Yeah, like about this big around, those kind of cans, they're about this.
Hawaiian Punch, that's the old school car.
Remember when she started talking about the cans? I was like, she's talking about like those Hawaiian Punch cans.
Something with some soup or some vegetables. You might find some green beans in a big can like that. Those kind of cans work good. Or if you don't need that, something that tall.
I said, and that's the only thing we better be using those cans for is for yoga. We better not be eating them.
What are you doing with that? Like, what do you do with that block?
That's right.
What do you use the block for?
If I were doing a pose and I needed a little more balance. So for example, if I needed them to help me because this stretch here, let's say, for example, everybody thinks they want to touch the floor. I just have my fingertips on the floor right now because on this stretch is very intense and this muscle is tight. Okay. So instead of just having fingertips on the floor, you just get the blocks and you can hold on to them. Okay. And then gradually you can lower them as you need to or want to. Okay. So we use the blocks on different heights and it puts less of a strain on our bodies before we're ready. Okay. So if I were looser and more stretched out, I wouldn't need a block. I would have my flat hands on the mat, but that's too intense right now. So use a block. You can use a block this way. This helps you to balance before you get ready to come up. Okay. And you gradually, take your time with it. Sometimes we'll use a block like we were in that position like this before. You'll put this block under your hip. Let me do this way so you guys can see. Instead of, how you wanted to roll over to the side? And I was saying, nope, stay up on top of your leg. You can put it under your hip. And once you put it there, you won't go anywhere and you're balanced. So that would be a modification that I would make, or suggestion I would make for people who are really tight and they can't sit up on one leg and they want to just roll over to the side. Put the block. Okay. So we do different things with the blocks to help us.
Cool.
Learning all kinds of stuff.
Here's another suggestion. If you take, this is a rolled pillow. If you have a rolled pillow, or you can take this blanket or a towel and you roll it up and you place it on your mat and you lay on it. You can lay on it with it being crossways, and you're going to get a nice stretch across your bra line. Opens up the chest. And this can be very restorative. You can just breathe and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Or you can turn it the other way. Yeah, you can turn it lengthwise and put it right at the base of your spine and just lay on it. This is dreamy, dreamy. Again, you're getting the same type of thing, but it's closer into the spine.
Nice.
Very dreamy. You could stay here for a while. So they're just different functions or different setups and postures that we use with the props. Yep.
Nice.
It's been great. Thank you.
So, yoga is something that you can adapt into any part of your day that you choose, whenever you want it and however you want it. It can be in a quiet space. You can have music on. You could have some type of ambient noise, or you can just be in a silent situation and just hum, and chant. Whatever fits for you, whatever works.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're going into a meditation, you might have a word from the day that you want to think about and really meditate on. Or it might be an affirmation or a poem. It could be a scripture. It is whatever really gets to you.
Well, usually at this point in our discussions, we highlight an African American female-owned business. And I know you aren't. You said you aren't teaching at this point, but at some point you will be, right? So you'll keep us posted on that. So you'll share that with us as you start your classes back up. Please share that with us. But there is another person that I know that does yoga, and she has some upcoming classes, and I don't even have all the details right here, but her name is Pia Sterling. And if anyone's interested in learning more about her classes, I think she has some on Sundays. You can reach out to me and I'll make sure you get in touch with Pia to get involved with that. But you also mentioned meditation, and we have one of our good girlfriends on here who has guided meditations that she should share the information about tonight. It kind of goes along with
Yoga.
the yoga thing. So Regina.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so I do have guided meditations on my podcast, and I'll put my podcast in the chat and then also on Facebook. So I do guided meditations, walking meditations, 15 minutes. Most of the meditations that are on my podcast are no more than 15 minutes. Just look, because I'm just building everybody up. But it's exciting. It just really centers me for my day, and also centers me in the evening. I'm a big believer in meditation, and so I will put that in the chat. And one of our other, Sarita and I grew up together, and one of our other friends that we grew up with, Michelle Starrett, was going to be on tonight, but she was traveling. And we can also put. She had a link. She does yoga on Wednesday, Wind Down Wednesdays, and so she has a YouTube channel where she has that. If anyone is interested as well.
That would be great. Let's add her YouTube channel so we can get that information out. And we'll have to, Pia couldn't join us this evening either, so we'll do some future yoga sessions with Pia and Michelle as well, so that we can keep yoga going in our lives long term. So we'll see them very soon. But Sarita, we really appreciate you coming tonight and sharing your gift with us, because this was, I thought it was going to be easier, to be honest with you.
You can do it. You can still do it.
No, I mean, I was able to do it, but I thought it wasn't going to be as painful as it was.
Well, that means you just have to do it more.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We need to keep this going. So this was really, really good. And I definitely think that women of a certain age, as I say, we definitely need all the benefits of yoga, stretching, and staying, nice and limber, basically, because as you get older, you lose all that flexibility is very important, and we don't want to lose that. So,
Yeah.
One of the, I've always been told that one of the tests for your health is being able to get up off the floor.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yoga definitely helps when we get up off the floor. Because you got to get down here to get up. So,
Mhm.
Yep, that's for sure.
That's why I get down there.
but
Mine
that's
got
okay.
stuck.
But look, but that's okay. Props, you get a chair, you get down on the floor, and you practice getting up with the props and the chair.
Mhm.
Yeah, see how you're sitting right now? I used to be able to sit like that, no problem. And now today I was like, this hurts. Yeah, that was like right there. I was like, oh my.
But it's tight right here. It's not, and the other thing is we get into this this thing too where we switch our legs. We switch. you
Yeah.
know.
My knees and my
Yeah.
hip, that I can't, even when I'm doing meditation, I have to put my legs out straight when I sit on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do sit on the floor sometimes on the floor sometimes to do meditation, and I have a pillow as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that crisscross applesauce. Look, Nat, you know that crisscross applesauce. I can't. No.
Some of the best meditators use a huge cushion. They really do. So the cushion, the higher I said in the very beginning, the higher you sit, it helps to relax those hips and support and relax the hips open. So use the cushions for sure.
Yeah, the hips are the like where I feel a lot of the tightness in the hip area.
Yeah, Sarita and I were discussing that yesterday. I was telling her how that, my personal trainer, that he had spent a lot of time opening up my hips, and she said, yeah, that's common, because I didn't even know that they were tight until I thought that I was having other issues. I can't remember what it was, maybe my shoulder or my arm. I don't remember. It was some other part of my body. And he was like, no, it's your hips are tight. I was like, my hips? He's like, yeah, that's why you think it's another part, but it's really your hips. So yeah.
Our, you know, when on the lower back, on the sides, you feel some pulls and tightness and even into the top of your butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh, your hips. That's your hips.
Yeah.
Your psoas and your glutes and your, just all of that stuff. Sciatic, all that stuff.
So, you said that the you know your parts of your body can grow. What about your neck? Will that elongate? I asked my personal trainer the neck exercises, and I was like, "How can I make my neck longer?" And he was like, "You can't." So, but do you think that's true, or do you think yoga might?
No, I don't think, I've never heard you can grow your neck. You can stretch your neck, but I don't know about growing.
Wanted it to be a little longer.
Why?
It's not even nicer.
So silly.
So it doesn't look so fat.
Where's
Stretched out long.
Like that too.
It's funny.
So,
wear high collars? I
Do
don't
you
know.
find, Sarita, that you practice more proper
posture.
posture from
I do.
doing yoga?
I do.
You're like you said, you're conscious of when you might be humping over and you push yourself back. I think that's probably really true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do. I'm much more aware of it. I'm, you know, being a Iyengar based, which is that alignment based yogic person. Yeah, I'm really into holding myself up. And I even remind my mother, okay, lift up, come on, roll your shoulders back, mommy, come on. Yeah,
That's good.
because we grow this way, you know, we hunch. So we want to counter that as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Makes you feel taller too. Just think about sitting up. You grow a little bit. Yeah.
Nice. Well, any more comments, questions? No? Okay, namaste. Isn't that the word? Namaste.
Yes, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you so much for allowing me to come into your space and to share a little bit of my yogic knowledge with you. Namaste.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Yay.
really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
We're gonna get off of Facebook Live, but don't get off, Sarita. Don't get off the Zoom. We're just going to get off of Facebook Live. So we hope that we have been a blessing to someone out there. We hope that you will try out some of these yoga positions, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. So until then, we hope that you all have a blessed couple of weeks. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Happy Friday
Good
Eve.
night.
Yes. Friday Eve. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.